So find a comfortable seated position, maybe Sukhasana if you like sitting like that, but any other seat that lets you just sit up nice and tall is really the way to go. And then just, give your body a second to come to its place. Wiggle into your sits bones, wriggle out your shoulders, let everything find a comfortable space to be in. And then think about letting your shoulders soften. If it feels good to do so, let your eyes close down. And then before you get too terribly comfortable in this position, just tune in and notice your forehead and your front of your heart space. Notice if there's like a slight forward leaning position of your head and your heart. And if so, can you draw your head back just a little bit so that your head, your heart, your hips are in line? And if they were already there, awesome, just leave them as they are. But if you can find that alignment there, and then take a moment to just imagine that you're reaching up just a little further through the crown of your head. And then once you've found that sense of the crown of your head, now draw your line of awareness down, back down to your heart space. So think of the heart space as where traditionally you would just think of your heart. Front of this heart space, think back of the heart space. So if you drew a line from the front of your heart towards the back, you maybe would notice the back of the ribs and the shoulder blades. And then think of this heart space as a 4-dimensional, so front to back and side to side, which also includes your arms and your hands if you draw that line further out from that heart space. So think of your heart space as front of the heart, back of the heart, and extend it all the way out to your arms and your hands. And then when you get that sense of awareness of where that heart space truly extends out to, tune in down to your hands and your fingers. Let your palms be soft. And then if you can, just notice the cool air on your skin, the skin of your palms or the tops of your hands. And if your palms were facing down, now see if you can flip the palms so that they're open facing the sky. Get just a little taller up through the crown of your head. Notice your alignment, head, heart, hips. And then as you inhale, can you roll your fingers in, make a little fist, squeeze your hands. And then as you exhale, roll the fingers out and stretch your fingers nice and wide. Inhale and roll your fingers in, make a little fist and squeeze. Exhale and roll your fingers out, stretch your fingers wide. One more just like that. Inhale, roll your fingers in, squeeze. Exhale, roll your fingers out, stretch the fingers wide, and then flip the palms, let them rest. So palms are resting on your knees. And bring your awareness back to your heart space. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then just for a moment here, before we move away from this place, as we tune in and notice that space of the heart, the front, the back, the sides, notice also this connection where the heart comes up into the throat chakra or that throat space. So think of your heart as you give out love and receive love. And then it's connected very closely to the throat chakra, the throat space. So where we speak our love or lack thereof. So just kind of get that sense of this connection point from the heart to the throat and from the heart to the solar plexus. So if you go down just a little bit further, noticing that fiery center. So think about the solar plexus chakra, bringing fire up to the heart, loading up with love, and then being able to speak it. So if you can think about that container there. And now we're going to take some breaths here. So think a complete breath. We want to take a nice full breath. Draw that breath deep down into the lungs. Think bottom of the lungs, middle of the lungs, all the way up to the tops of the lungs or to the collarbones. And then as you exhale from the collarbones, middle of the lungs, all the way down to the bottom of the lungs, let all that air go. Inhale, a full deep breath. Fill up the bottom of the lungs, middle of the lungs, all the way up to the collarbones. And then as you exhale, bring the breath out from the collarbones, middle of the lungs, bottom of the lungs. We're going to take one more breath just like that. Inhale deep to the bottom of the lungs, middle of the lungs, all the way up to the top. Exhale from the collarbones, middle of the lungs, bottom of the lungs. And then just take a second, readjust anything that you need to, wriggle out your shoulders. If you picked up any tension as you focus on that breath, just wiggle it out a little bit. And then before we move away from this place, set an intention here to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Awesome. And then with that intention set, keeping your eyes closed if you like, inhale and lift your chin up towards the sky. Exhale and tuck your chin down to your chest. Keep your shoulders down if you can. Inhale as you lift your chin up. Exhale as you tuck your chin down. One more breath here. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale to tuck your chin down. And then bring your head back to a neutral position. Open your eyes if it feels good. And we're going to make our little I Dream of Genie arms, but in front of the body here. And we're going to start to pull the elbows across the midline of the body. So here, instead of being on our back, as you start to pull the elbows across the midline of the body, you might notice that you have this tendency to want to make the ribs move with you. Can you keep your ribs stationary and just pull the elbows side to side? And then once you've found that stationary position of the ribs, now as you pull the elbows side to side, you're going to draw them down toward your navel. Keep pulling them side to side and bring them up, maybe coming into your eye line. Draw the elbows side to side, bring it down towards your navel. Nice. And then lift them back up and maybe bring them up across your eye line. One more time, up and down here. So we're going to pull the elbows across side to side as we draw them down. Beautiful. And then bring it back up across that eye line. And then just even yourself out as you bring those arms back to that midline space. Maybe take another pull or two side to side. And then we're going to swim the hands behind the back with nice tall fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chest just to a point that feels nice. We haven't warmed up a lot yet. So just find that nice gentle opening through the heart space, through the collarbones, through the throat. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then gently release. We're going to take it into an easy seated forward fold, but take it slow and mindful. So go just to a point where maybe you feel a little sensation in the low back or a little sensation in the outer edges of your hips. No zinging in the knees. Make sure your knees feel happy. And then once you find that sort of soft, easy seated forward fold, can you soften your elbows? Can you soften the back of your neck? Can you soften the back of your body and then tune into that back space or that back of your heart space? Take a nice deep breath in. Can you notice the space between your shoulder blades and that movement in your ribs? Take one more breath. Awesome. And then gently push into your hands so that the elbows lift away from the ground. Walk yourself back up with a little bit of control. Move right into a seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee. Left hand reaches behind you. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release and take your twist over to the other side. Awesome. When you're ready, release, take it right into a seated side bend. So left hand's going to touch the ground, right hand reaches up. And then we're just going to sink that bottom elbow down just a little bit so we can find a little bit more space through the side of the ribs. And then pause here for a moment and notice your breath here. Notice one side might feel really open and free to accept the breath, and then one side might feel a little bit constricted. So see if you can notice in your body, where is your breath free? Where is it constricted? And then as you take your next big inhale, can you free up some breath in those spaces that feel a little constricted? On your next inhale, lift all the way up, and we're going to take it over to the other side. So right hand's going to touch down, left hand's going to reach up. Find your side bend first, and then see if you can sink that bottom elbow down just a little bit more. So you find that big opening through the side body, and then come back to your breath. Notice your inhale. Notice your exhale. Notice if there's spaces that feel a little bit more constricted or free with the breath. And then in those constricted places, can you offer up just a little bit more space to find a little bit room for your breath? Take a big inhale there. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift up nice and slow, lean back into your sits bones, swing your legs out in front of you with a nice softness. So softness in the legs, softness in the knees, and we're just going to point and flex the feet. So whatever your knees choose to do with that, let them bounce if they like to, but pull your toes in towards you and let it be like a nice wiggly movement. So it doesn't have to be extreme. You don't have to get those muscles in front of the shins firing up. We just want to kind of move the ankle joint a little bit, move the toes, move the bottoms of your feet. Nice. Take one more point and flex the feet, and then step your feet just a little bit closer. So maybe your flat of the feet are on the ground or the heels are on the ground. Lean back into your sits bones just a little bit and rock your knees side to side. Awesome. One more rock of the knees side to side. And then when you're ready, we're going to spin the legs around, finding our way into a tabletop position or come onto all fours. So take your time as you find your way here. And then just notice if your knees need a little extra padding, maybe double up your mat or do all those little care things so that your wrists and your knees feel happy. And then once you found your way into your tabletop position, pause for a moment, spread your fingers nice and wide, index fingers pointing to the top of the mat. Push the floor away from you. So we engage the front of the body. So we're drawing that front up nice and strong, and then find a little broadness in your shoulders, a little length in the back of your neck. So imagine you're reaching your crown of your head towards the top edge of your mat and your tailbone towards the end of your mat, just to find that bit of length in your spine. And then once you found that length, take a nice big conscious breath, big deep inhale, fill all the way up to the bottom of the lungs. Exhale nice and slow. Beautiful. Move right into a cat-cow here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale and round your back. Inhale and drop your belly. Exhale and round. On this next inhale, as you drop your belly, pause for a second, and then just tune in and notice. So this cow position, we're really finding a stretch through the front of the body. So if you can notice that stretch through the belly, maybe that little opening through the heart, take one more moment just to pause here and notice. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, pull the abdominal muscles in, round your back. So now we come into that cat position. Look towards your navel. Notice the space between your shoulder blades. Think about that heart space. So front and side and back of the heart, and then all the way down to the arms, down to the fingers. And then when you're ready, release that position, move right into puppy pose or heart melting pose. Keep your hips in line with your knees. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your heart melt down, let your forehead melt down. Take a nice big breath here. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, walk it back up into that tabletop position. We're going to slide the right leg back with the toes curled under. Take a couple of gentle rocks forward and back just to create a little space in the back of the leg, a little movement in the Achilles heel on the calf. Nice. One more rock forward and back. And then when you're ready, slide that leg in, take it over to the other side. Left leg slides back, toes curled under. Rock yourself forward and back. Beautiful. One more rock forward and back. And then when you're ready, slide that leg in. We're going to curl both sets of toes under. Drop your belly down. So think that cow position, belly drops down, shoulder blades are hugging in towards each other. And then we're just going to take a few gentle nods of the head. So tuck your chin down and lift your chin up, but keep the belly down, keep the toes curled under. Lovely. And then the next time your head finds a neutral position, pull your abdominal muscles up and in. Keep the toes curled under. Pull your butt back to your heels so we get a little stretch to the toes, to the bottoms of the feet. Take a nice big breath here. Wonderful. Lift up, release your toes, sit back onto your heels again, and then just make sure that this is a comfortable position for your knees. We're going to take a nice big breath. Open your arms wide, lift your chest, lift your chin. Right hand's going to come on top. So we're going to give ourselves a little hug. Catch your shoulders, pull the shoulders down, pull the abdominal muscles in, round your upper back body, tuck your chin into your chest, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. On your next inhale, open your arms nice and wide, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, hug yourself, left hand on top this time. Beautiful. Shoulders down, abdominal muscles in, elbows down, tuck chin to chest. Take a nice big breath. On your next inhale, open your arms nice and wide, lift your chest, lift your chin, and then release back to your tabletop position. Curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Take a pedal or two of the legs. And then when you feel good and ready, let your dog come to stillness. Bend your knees a lot. So you're going to keep your butt lifted up towards the air, but we're going to bend those knees a lot. And then think about melting your heart towards your thighs. And then once you've got that sensation of heart melting towards the thighs, we're going to keep everything as it is, but push your heels down towards the ground. It does not matter if your heels touch the ground, but we want to bring a little bit of length into the backs of the legs, just enough so it feels good. Take one good breath. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a folded ragdoll at the top of the mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, and make some space for your belly and your chest, and then let everything dangle here. We're going to let our arms stay nice and heavy here. So if you can, let your fingers touch the floor, soften through the back of the body. Get a sense of that buoyant lift that happens with your inhale. And then as you exhale, can you soften a little further into your hands? Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. Bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders around, down and back. And then right away in this standing position, right hand's going to touch the thigh, left hand's going to reach up alongside the ear, lean over to the right, take a gentle side bend. Beautiful. Lift up, left hand touches down, right hand reaches up, lean over to the left. Nice. Bring it back up to center, both hands down at your sides. As you inhale, shoulders are going to lift up to the ears. We're going to get that little squeeze in the muscles of the side of the neck, maybe even scrunch up your face. And then as you exhale, shoulders soften down, turn your head to the right. Inhale, bring the shoulders up, head to center, squeeze. Exhale, shoulders soften down, head turns to the left. Inhale, bring it back up to center, squeeze. Exhale, shoulders soften down, head turns to the right. Inhale, bring it up, squeeze. Exhale, shoulders soften, turn your head to the left. Nice. And then as you inhale, bring it to center, squeeze. And now we're going to switch it up just a little bit. So as you exhale, soften your shoulders down, drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale, bring it all back to center, find that little squeeze, and take that over to the other side. Shoulders soften down, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale and bring it all back to center. Let your shoulders lift and squeeze, and then roll your shoulders down and back, and then just take a second to find that intentional mountain pose. So toes and knees pointing fairly forward, lift from the soles of the feet, lift all the way up through the crown of your head, nice and strong here. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and lift up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist down to the ground. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog. Pause here just for one breath, letting your heart melt towards your thighs. And then when you're ready, pick up your heels, lower your knees, come into a tabletop position. We're going to come up into a high kneel. So walk your hands up and in so you find that high kneel position. If your toes are tucked under, just for this time, release your toes if you can. Hands behind the back like you're putting your hands into your back pockets. Hips are going to come forward slightly, heart lifts, chin lifts. Take one nice gentle breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully release back into your tabletop position. Curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, just whatever feels more comfortable to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back, low lunge. We're going to bring the knee down, back toes tucked or released, just whatever feels more stable to you. Once you've got your legs arranged, lift your chest, pull the left hip crease back. Inhale, raise your arms up, look up, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Left hand is going to touch down to the hip. Right hand's going to stay up, but we're going to take a little side bend. So lean over to the left. Take one good breath here. Beautiful. Lift up. Release your hands down to the ground. We're going to take 3 half splits, but we're going to go soft and gentle. So keep that front leg slightly bent as you peel the toes up. Rock yourself forward. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Pull back. Peel the front toes up. Rock yourself forward. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Nice. One more just like that. Pull back. Rock forward, lift your chest, lift your gaze, lift your arms up and overhead. And then from here, right hand is going to reach back. So maybe you'll find the back of your thigh, or maybe your calf, or maybe your heel. So just whatever reach works good for you. And then we're going to lift the heart space, reach up through that left hand, look to the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, lift up, spin those hands down to the ground, pick the back knee up, plant your palms, step back to a plank. Beautiful. Bring your knees down, lower gently onto your belly. One low cobra here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Push your way up into a tabletop position. From that tabletop position, we're going to take it into a high kneel. So lift up, hands into the back pockets, squeeze the shoulder blades, hips come forward, heart lifts, gaze up, take one good breath. Nice. And then release with control, hands to the ground. Curl your toes under, exhale up to down dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge. So bring that knee down, go to a depth that works good for you. And then if you can, release those back toes or keep them tucked, just whatever feels good. Once you've got your legs arranged, lift your heart up, pull the hip crease back, inhale, arms up, look up. Right hand is going to come down to the thigh, left hand stays up, lean over to the right, take a gentle side bend. Beautiful. Lift up, release your hands down to the ground. Frame that front foot, 3 half splits here. Pull the hips back, peel the toes up, rock forward, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Pull the hips back, rock yourself forward, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Nice. One more just like that. Rock back, rock forward, lift your heart, lift your gaze, lift your arms. And then from here, left hand's going to reach back. So you might find the thigh, the calf, or your heel, whatever works good. And then lift your heart, look up towards that right hand, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Spin those hands down to the ground, pick that back knee up, plant the palms, step back to a plank. Awesome. Bring your knees down, lower gently onto your belly. And now we're going to take it into Drunken Serpent to finish this flow. So hands off the edges of your mat, tall cupcake hands. Inhale and lift your heart up nice and high. Exhale to lower down. Right shoulder up and back. As you inhale, lift your right shoulder and look over. Exhale to lower down. Beautiful. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift your left shoulder and look over. Exhale to lower down. Back to center. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Slide your hands in. Push your way up to a tabletop position. Back to that tall kneel. Lifting up. Hands into your back pockets. Hips forward. Heart lifts. Look up. Take a nice big breath. When you're ready, with control, release back down to the ground. We're going to bring big toes together, Knees to the outer edges of the mat, come back to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels. Let your belly, your chest, your forehead melt down. Let your arms find a nice, soft, comfortable place to be. And then take 3 nice deep breaths here. When you're ready, on your next inhale, start to lift your way up to a tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to a forward fold at the top of your mat. And now we're going to start to find our way down to the ground. So lift your heels, bend your knees, roll down into that little ball of yarn. And then when you're ready, sit back on your butt. We're going to curl the tailbone under, roll your way down to the ground, nice and slow and controlled. Awesome. And then as you find your way down, just give yourself a second. Get yourself situated. Make sure your clothes, your mat, your camera screen, make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. And then once you found your way here, allow just an extra moment to let your spine relax. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. We're going to take it right into a figure 4 from here. So right leg across the left, lift your left leg up. Thread your hands through, get a handhold that works good for you. So maybe the back of the thigh, maybe the top of the shin. Make some space here. So make sure there's plenty of space for your belly, for your chest, and space for your shoulders to soften down. And then once you've got that kind of soft space, take a nice full breath in, breathe all the way down to the bottom of the lungs. And as you exhale, can you let your shoulders soften? One more breath. Great. Now from this position, as we release our figure 4, we're going to take it right into supine twist. So we're going to catch hold of the right knee as we extend the left leg down to the end of the mat, and then take that right knee over and across the body, over to the left. Let your right arm open out nice and wide. Maybe turn your head to the right. Take a nice big inhale. Slow exhale. Can you draw your awareness back to that heart center, front to back, side to side? Let that idea of that heart space extend all the way out to your hands and your fingers. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. One more breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, pull that right knee into your chest, bring the left knee into meet, give yourself a nice little hug squeeze, and then set your right leg down. Left leg is going to come across the right. So we set up that figure 4, lift the right leg up, and then find your handhold. Maybe the back of the thigh, maybe the top of the shin, just whatever feels good. And then think about creating a little bit of space here. So space for your belly, space for your chest. You don't have to go extreme pulling those legs in toward your body, but take a nice big breath into that space. And then as you exhale, can you let your shoulders soften? Take one more breath. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, we're going to release into our supine twist. So we're going to send the right leg long as we catch hold of the left knee, reaching that left knee over and across the body. Let your left arm open nice and wide, and then maybe turn your head to the left if that feels comfortable. And then can you come back to that awareness of your heart center, front to back, side to side? Let that idea of heart center extend all the way out to your fingertips, and take a nice big breath. When you feel ready, pull that left knee back into your chest, bring the right knee into meet. We're going to hug those legs in and then curl the head up. Think about bringing your nose towards your knees, just curling up into that nice little ball. And then when you're ready, release your head down, release your legs down to the ground. Pause for a moment and assess where would be your best Shavasana. If you're in a cold space, take a second to put your socks on or your sweater on or your blanket. And then once you've got yourself all cozied up, ask yourself where would be the best place for you. Maybe constructive rest, maybe that more traditional shape with the legs long, maybe you roll to one side or flip over onto your belly. Any position of the body that feels restful to you. And then once you've found a position of the body that works, invite some softness into your legs, some softness into your hips, your butt, your belly, your back. Let everything find a nice soft landing. And then let your awareness or your soft awareness be centered at your heart. As you inhale and you fill up that heart space, so heart and lungs, everything pumps up and fills up. And then as you exhale, can you let that heart space soften into the ground? Let your arms be soft, let your hands be soft. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Gently wake up your fingers and wake up your toes. As you start to deepen the breath, maybe invite some bigger movements in, moving your ankles and your wrists. Maybe turn your head gently side to side. Any other movement that might feel good to you as you start to reawaken. And then if it feels really great to do so, take a big good morning stretch like a yawn. Stretch your arms up and overhead, reach long through your toes. Take a nice big breath back into your body. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully find your way up to a comfortable seated position. So you might choose to rock and roll up or roll to one side, whatever gets you there, but feels good in your body as you do it. I should always say, you have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. So if you get to Shavasana and you're like, I'm turning my screen off, I'm staying here for days. I support that endeavor. But as you come up to your comfortable seated position, just take a second. So find that nice tall lifted spine. We're going to bring one hand to the heart and one hand behind the heart. So if you can reach that hand behind you, just get it rearranged so it feels comfortable. Close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then we're going to switch our hand holds. The hand that's behind you is going to come to the heart. Hand that's on the heart comes behind you. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Releasing those hands. And now we're going to take our hands, tuck the hands in and under. So fingertips are going to come inward so that your fingernails are pointing in towards your armpit. And then once you've got that position, just let your elbows get nice and heavy. Close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then release those hands right to your heart center. So hands stacked right on top of your heart. Close your eyes down if it feels good. We're going to take a humming breath to finish our practice, and then we'll close it up. So take your nice, big, generous inhale. Fill your lungs up. And as you exhale, just let out a nice low hum. And then once you've completed that humming exhale, just let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Gently bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And then if you like, breathe in a little extra intention to allow love to find its way to you. We sometimes can be very good at giving the love out, but then when the love is coming our way, we might not be as good as accepting it. So can you set an intention to let love find its way to you? And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Saturday.